325. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a show about shows, episode number 52, My Precious. I'm JPO, joined for someone, joined here by my precious Dutch McAllister.
Ah, that just makes the cockles of my heart just sing a precious melody of love. Too bad you're not my precious, but hey,
Thanks for not returning the favor. Speaking of precious, who's behind you? Why is there a picture of a donkey behind you?
that is just I love donkeys, and I just have a great picture of a donkey, and I bought it at an art show, and somebody drew it, and I was drawn to it, and I bought it. Just like the cow in the back and the and Ponce de Leon hanging out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a set made by Wes Anderson. This is how Dutch lives.
Well, see, that's why I love Wes Anderson films. So eclectic.
It speaks right to my heart. You feel bad when little Sebastian died on Parks and Rec then?
Yes. Little Sebastian should never have died. But he was a pony, I believe. He wasn't a donkey, so we'll be fine.
Well, guys, we streamlined the show as much as we could for you because we have loads of reviews here for you, some news and notables. We got busy watching on the good old Netflix and Prime and VOD and DVD, Blu-ray, VHSs.
Yeah, we for some reason last week we thought, well, hell, we only had 5. Let's do 1,000. So that was what happened. So that's what we've decided to do. Also, the reason why we're on Zoom this week is because I had a scare over the week. So we figured it out for COVID. The virus.
How did you say you were pregnant? Okay.
Oh no! It hit close to home, so I had to sequester myself away from you, my friend. But both tests came out negative, so I am very happy to hopefully be in the studio again with you shortly one day. So, but yeah, there you go. That's the reason why we're on Zoom this week. We probably could have done the other way, but again, it just didn't work out because we're all trying to practice our safe distance. And what's going on in your end? Because it looks like all of a sudden it's like the halo of sun, and light just cascading.
I always have something randomly playing in the background, so it just depends on if it's a light picture or a dark picture.
Oh, okay, because it was like, that's what I was looking at. So let's kick it off with one of the anticipated films of the summer, or early part of the summer, we'll say, from Disney. Came Artemis Fowl. Is based on a beloved book that's is a fantastical spellbinding adventure that follows the journey of a 12-year-old genius, Artemis Fowl, a descendant of a long line of criminal masterminds, and he seeks to find his father, who mysteriously disappears. So this has Colin Farrell, Josh Gad, Laura McDonald, Tamara Smart, Judi Dench, Dame Judi Dench, Nonso Anazi, I believe, and introducing Freda Shaw. So this is his first film. This was directed and by Kenneth Branagh, who's usually pretty good at kicking off, beginnings. Look at Thor. Thor was actually a good kickoff. But I think Kenneth Branagh is a good filmmaker. But this one, just as far as I can gather, it was just off the rails to begin with to me, right away. I have no idea about the premise of these movies. I just went in. I know they're built on these books. Even as I've talked to fans who've read these books, and they were like, what kind of movie did they make? Because it has nothing to do with anything that the book has ever decided to come close to. But personally, as I sat and watched it, I was waiting for it to end. It was an hour and 30 something minutes, and it was one of those movies that I'm like, well, it seems as if he's supposed to be a criminal mastermind, if he's supposed to be should he not have a little hankering on the devious side as well? And some of the devious points didn't come across fully. Dame Judi Dench, to me, I enjoyed her performance, probably out of all of them. Josh Gad did a little better for me, but yeah, he just opening up his jaw and eating the earth. But at the end of the day, I thought this film was just blah to be a tent pole for future books, and it sounds like they're still going to make them, but I don't know why. But I'm not going to give you mine. Have you seen it yet, there, Michael Man?
Oh, I've seen it, my man. Yeah, I saw it.
So what are your thoughts? Before I give you my rating, I want to hear what your thoughts of this film is.
So I always rank movies as I see them. I try to put them into a list, and I'll tell you how I feel by where it ranked on my list. I was looking at it, I was trying to decide what I enjoyed more, this or Doolittle. So that shows you how much I liked it. And guess what? I went with Doolittle because at least I laughed a little bit more.
Yeah, I would go with Doolittle.
This is it's a bit of an odd one, as you said. I haven't read the books either. So I have no inkling if what's missing. From what I heard, if you are a fan of the books, this will probably piss you off even more. For me, I just kind of whatever with it. The leading character, as you said, like it's not what he's probably like written in the books. What it sounds like in the books is much more interesting than what we get. I don't want to diss on a kid because he's however years old, but I don't know if he was right for the role. There's just not much to do in the role. The role was kind of boring. I enjoyed the little elf girl or the fairy girl more.
Yeah.
And there's parts where she almost took the lead.
And I believe that's Tamara Smart. So that
okay. I look forward to more from her. Did you know the main kid is Robert Shaw's grandkid?
Yes, I thought from Jaws, I was like, well, he's got to be able to act, and he's young still.
He's
Maybe
young.
he'll grow into the part. Maybe he'll grow into it.
And if there wasn't much for it, just like there wasn't much for Colin Farrell in this, he's kidnapped for half of it. He's whatever. The relationships don't really matter here. Yeah, I just people are comparing it to Last Airbender from M. Night Shyamalan, which is that's not a very a plug there neither. So yeah, this is and a lot of people are wondering too. This was dumped on Disney Plus. This was not given a big VOD or waited for theaters. Hopefully Disney Plus isn't the dumping ground because that's what people are afraid.
Could be. That's the worst part. I'm with you on that because for a tentpole for this is the first film. This is what's supposed to set up the picture, and I don't know if I want to join them.
No, this is tough, man. I think this is. You said we'll see if they go forward with sequels. I think they're gonna have a hard time because this thing's getting ripped apart.
Yeah. So let's get into the what we do. Just give it a factor of snowflakes. I will give you my factor in just 2 seconds because I'm on the wrong screen on my portable device here. Isn't that awful? There it is. A 2. I gave it a 2 snowflakes because again, I always screw that up. Judi Dench, and as you said, the elf. And even Colin Farrell did well as what he did for for whatever risk that he was in. But yeah, I 2. Plain and simple.
I'll be nice. I was battering the 1.5, but I don't think it's kind of harmless in a weird way. So I'll give it a 2 as well here. Nothing to write home about. It's something I'm going to forget about. It's going to be one of those things that if there isn't any sequels, we'll talk about in 10 years. Hey, remember that one weird Artemis Fowl thingy that tried to start off a franchise and just couldn't do it? So we'll see. Maybe in a decade we'll get a reboot, but
like a series or something. Like they're going to be doing with Percy Jackson.
Oh yeah, we'll probably reboot that now.
Disney has already said they're going to put it on put it as a TV series.
You're very nice to Judi Dench, by the way. Here between this and Cats, obviously Judi Dench is just in her money phase. So, Dame, read your scripts, honey.
She's in that where I like to say, do you remember the Anthony Hopkins phase? Remember him? He was
he called it the De Niro phase, is what I was thinking.
Yeah, he was just looking for the cash grab. Yeah. But I think they're just doing one big dart to the finish line. And
I can't wait till the sequel to Dirty Grandpa, Dirty Grandma with Judi Dench. Huh? Huh?
I'll watch it.
I would watch it.
Oh man!
Let's go to our next review here. Let's see what the follow-up to that is. We're gonna talk about from one great movie to another.
I know.
The last days of American crime. In the not-too-distant future, as a final response to terrorism and crime, the U.S. government plans to broadcast a signal making it impossible for anyone to knowingly commit unlawful acts. This stars Edgar Ramirez, Michael Pitt, and Anna Brewster.
It's in 2025, though. I think it was. I think I looked at it. It's in 2025
Hmm.
in the near
It feels a
future.
little further than that, but sure,
Well, or
2025.
maybe 25, 20. I don't know. I tried to read it on the urn at the end of the film, but I just, it went by too quickly for me.
This movie is about an hour too long, and even that I was probably being graceful. Yeah, it's a very long movie, not very.
Hmm.
It's bloody, but not very thrilling in many ways. Talk about characters you don't care about. Michael Pitt's chewing a little bit of scenery, so I'll give Pitt a little bit of credit here. But Ramirez is one note. It reminded me of a Point Break. I don't know about this Ramirez guy. Maybe it just depends. Maybe something else if he was given here. But this thing's a mess. We talked about it last week as being one of the top viewed movies, but with 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I would love to fight against that logic, but I'm probably going to add to that logic. What about you?
Uh, I was looking for just a good action film, but okay, I think I figured something out. If you don't know, or if you don't have anything to do with the plot, if you have no more plot and you have no action, you just make a sex scene. And they did those a few times. Either I timed one. I think it was like a 5 or 6 minute sex scene. I think it was the first encounter in the bathroom. I think it was, and then there was another one where they were outside or something in the trailer or something. I don't know how that works, but that was a shorter one compared to the other. And I'm like, you know, I'm not against sex scenes in movies. I really am not. But to me, it just didn't make sense. These two people have nothing at all in common. No, they only have one thing that they want to do is steal some money and make it to make it to Canada. I can't even talk anymore about it. It's just that it was one of those movies that I wish I could just extinguish from my career of watching anything.
It has, it has a big pet peeve of mine, and it does the classic we have the guy that's been killing all of our guys, and we got him. Instead of just killing him, we're going to leave him alone and see if he can escape. It does that too, which really made me laugh. Like, just shoot the guy in the head. Don't let him escape.
Well, here, yeah, I'm with you on that. And then, of course, okay, kids, turn off your show if you want to hear some spoilers, because I gotta ask you something though about this. The very first scene in the film, somebody gets blown up, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then this is what you're talking about. They bring him back to toy with this dude. Now, number one, I thought he was dead. He should have been dead. There was way no reason for his body to even survive any of what took place because he was gassed and doused in gas. The bathtub was filled with gas. So how does this some bitch actually survive? Really threw me for a loop because I'm like, I'm trying to find some logic in this film. Don't ask me why.
And can I follow that up with, and then they do nothing with him, and then the character's done within that scene. So you do this kind of semi twist just to make it mean nothing.
Yeah, and there's no connection for me at all. I found this one to be a 1.5. I put a thumbs down on this. I just couldn't do it. I can't.
You're being nice, my friend. I'm not even giving it that extra point of a star. I'm giving it a 1, man. That's being nice because I think Michael Pitt at least kind of knows that he's not in a great movie and he's kind of having some fun here. Other than that, like I said, I don't really care about the leads. I don't care about their story arc. In the end, you're supposed to kind of care with the resolution. It's one of those resolutions where I was like, meh, I can move on. I don't care if you live or die, and I should care.
Yeah.
And also, too, speaking real quickly about another actor I really like, Sholto Copley, that whole arc could have been taken out. What was the point of his character?
I'm not sure. There's a lot of art. There was a lot of development. I think they had. Well, I think at the end of the movie, I think the movie was like 2 hours plus. I believe.
Yeah, it's long. It's unnecessarily long. Yeah.
It's unnecessarily long, and I don't understand character because there was no real character development at all. I mean. No. There was not
you could hit him out, and it would not affect us even a little bit. And I like Sholto Copley, and he's not doing bad per se, but he's pointless, and even his resolution is pointless.
Yeah, it's not even worth talking. Netflix, shame on you. Shame on you for once.
The only crime committed was making this movie.
Can I tell you this? If I had to choose, well, I'll tell you what I'll choose later because there's one review that's worse than this one. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it. You know it's what I'm going to talk about. Probably that's going to be the worst reviewed one for me all day long. The next one was actually a surprise for everybody. It was released on YouTube. We put it on our Twitter page as well. It's 846 Dave Chappelle's stand-up show. He puts on a show during his hometown during the pandemic to discuss events currently changing our country. It's not really a comedy act. It's more of a social act, and it's unbelievably good. I'm not even going to rate this. I'm just going to say it's something that everyone should watch. You should just sit there and watch it. It's a lot of great points. What Dave Chappelle brings to stand up is you walk away thinking more about the world around you than what you did coming into his stand up most of the time in my mind. And to me, the way he put things, it's just a man who's trying to figure out where, as he said, his people belong. I guess, he's, and it's not a refined show. And he even puts it in the disclaimer down below that he apologizes for that. But it is a great show, a passionate show. If you haven't watched it, click it on us. If not, just go to YouTube's Netflix is a joke YouTube page. Watch it. It blew me away. It's 30 minutes long, and it made me think. And it's just a very powerful show. Did
No,
you get a chance?
yeah, actually, I'm right here with you, man. Yes, definitely check this out if you can, and you should. It's a timely piece, something that it needed to be talked about, and in a weird way, who knew, years ago that Dave Chappelle would be kind of a good voice to hear in these times, So yeah, definitely check this out. Like I said, nothing we're gonna rate here. It's not really meant for star ratings. It's really just meant to be kind of divulged and thought about.
Yeah. So that's, and like I said, we're not, we shouldn't rate this one because it is very powerful for social reasons. So get out there and watch it and learn and develop from it because it does, like I said, it's a very thought provoking show. Very, very good. So what else we got next, bud?
Next up, we got a movie that you're going to be talking about. It's called Driveways. A lonely boy goes with his mother to help clean out his late aunt's house and forms an unlikely friendship with a neighbor who is a war vet. This stars Brian Dennehy, Lucas J., Hong Chow, Ralph Adler, and Christine Ebersole. Dutch, talk to me about Driveway with the late great Brian Dennehy.
This is Brian Dennehy's very last film. It was put out earlier this year, I think in February. It was released finally. And it was straight to VOD. I think it might have made it to theaters, like mom and pop theaters, or smaller releases. This film, wow! If you could just say as anybody as an actor for Brian Denny, this was a great movie to go out on. He touches your soul at the end. The child in this film. Lucas J, is a powerful presence as well. His own development is just unbelievable. I don't know. He's one to look for, I think, in the future. Good actors, good child actors, and as well as Hong Chow. She is the mother. She goes in. Her sister's passed. She turns out her sister is a hoarder. And so they have to go in and clean out this house. And we find that she's had some troubles in her past with her ex, in which she just wants to escape from. And that unfortunately brings her son into it, in which he doesn't know where he belongs as well. Brian Denny, his character, he's lost his wife, and he is still mourning the passing of her and asking why this has happened. To me, it's a powerful film. I'm getting a little choked up just thinking about the performances. They're just ungodly good, and the scene at the very end of the film. I'm not going to divulge a lot of that, but it's between him and the young boy, and it is so heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking and it's beautiful. I give this 4.5 snowflakes due to the fact. There was one loose end that I wish they would have gotten. Charles Adler's character has dementia, and he's leaving. And so Brian Denny, he knows he's leaving his best friend from South Korea, who we fought with in South Korea, and they just don't develop that little tiny bit. I know that we had the expansion of just the family and Brian Denny, his character, but that was also I could tell that was also a spot that they might have wanted to go down. because they did bring it up as an actual focal point in a scene as they both go shopping for groceries, and the next thing you know, his friend comes out and he doesn't know where he's at, and he's in the parking lot lost, and that's when Brian Dennehy's character knows, his friend is lost basically, and you can see a piece of him die with that little bit of knowledge. But yeah, it's a powerful film. It's a great movie. I actually bought it because it was $6.99, I think, to rent, or and I thought, well, $10, let me get it. And I am not disappointed that I own this film. It is a great movie. Everyone should watch it. And if you were to say today, Brian Dennehy, best actor so far of the year, best acting film. So if it's eligible, so yeah.
Very interesting to hear. Glad to hear Dennehy got another good one under the belt there before the end.
Absolutely. The next film is a revisit from a film that you may sound kind of entertaining, and I don't like you ever. And this is that one film that I told you we're going to save some venom for. It's called Deep Murder. This raunchy horror comedy drives into the story of a deranged killer as he slashes his way across a softcore porno who will last the longest as the stiffs pile up and the killer plows through the victims. This has Jessica Park, Jared Connell, Chris Redd, Josh Margolin, Stephanie Drake, and Quinn Bosnick. I know I left a few out, and they're probably going to be happy that I left them out. This, from pillar to post, my friend, I'm going to keep this very succinct. How dare you make this sound any way entertaining? I know you didn't give it a great, star review, 2.5, I think, maybe. And I thought, okay, with that review, I can go watch this. And it turned my stomach every situation that came through. I just was like, when will this movie end? When will it stop? Please, dear God, get me off this roller coaster from hell. And it wasn't even a roller coaster. It was more like one of those baby roller things that go around in the mall. Those little trains that go in a circle. It's just an awful film. Nothing made me laugh. I mean, nothing made me laugh in
The
this
football
film.
scene?
None. I mean, zero.
Football scene.
Nothing. I mean, literally. You know what movie would be, if I had to choose, I thought about this. The Laundromat, the movie that I freaking can't stand on Netflix. That movie, a freaking gem. That movie is like a 5-star film compared to this piece of crap. And I'm going to tell you, yes, I'm a little vitriol on this one because I don't know why. Why did they even make this a half? And that's worse than The Laundromat, which I think I gave it a 1. This is a half.
This is not the worst movie on the show this week. I think you just.
Well,
it's a polarizing film that even I didn't love, but there's worthiness in it. There is.
Zero worthiness, my friend. Zero.
You said a half a star worthiness.
It's a half a star. Well, you know what? I should just take it away. I could be okay with that, but I'm going to give it a half. It's the worst thing that I've seen so far this year. The worst. And I've probably seen some bad. I've seen what movie did we see together that was awful? Which one was it? I don't know. I gotta go look. I'm having post-traumatic stress from this movie. My God, never listen to you sometimes. By gosh, my God, my golly.
Whatever, man. Go watch Medea or whatever that you like that I hate.
I don't like all of them. I just like the funeral.
Go watch another rom-com.
I was looking for a good one. I couldn't find one this week. I did watch The Proposal, but that's
with Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, yeah.
I never finished it actually. Let me guess, they end up together.
What? Yeah.
Never seen it.
That's all right. You know how it happens. Anyway, what's up next, buddy? We're gonna do another revisit. It looks like.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
Wait, did you review this already? No, we weren't.
No, you reviewed it last.
No, I didn't.
What, Just Mercy?
I've never reviewed this.
Yeah, you did. Did you not with Jamie Foxx? Yeah, you did. Michael B. Jordan last week.
I don't think I reviewed it last week. It was this week.
No. By God, by golly. Have you forgot what we do on this show? Having a fun guy?
Regardless, Just Mercy, the powerful true story of Harvard-educated lawyer Brian Stevenson, who goes to Alabama to defend the disenfranchised and wrongly condemned, including Walter McMillian, a man sentenced to death despite evidence proving his innocence. Brian fights tirelessly for Walter with the system stacked against them. This stars Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, Brie Larson, Rob Morgan, Tim Blake Nelson, O'Shea Jackson, and Rafe Spall. Dutch, since I think I reviewed it, talk to me about it.
Well, you gave this one, if I'm not a 4-star, I think, review. I agree with you wholeheartedly as a 4-star review. It was a very compelling, unbelievable sense of injustice that was taking place. And unfortunately, somebody had to sit in prison for years, decades, before somebody could help them out. And again, these are poignant times for these type of films right now to really watch. And again, look into yourself. I'm not saying that, again, I'm not on a high horse, but I just think everyone should look inside themselves and see what kind of person they are as you watch these type of films. And to me, it's just a powerful film. Unfortunately, it was looked over, I think, last year at the Academy Awards completely. Was it not? Or who was anybody nominated?
It was I guess technically, yeah. I know it kind of came out very late though in the year, so yeah, I guess you could say it got overlooked. Yeah,
I think because Michael B. Jordan just puts in a hell of a performance. Again, a stellar actor. I can't wait to see more from him in the future. Jamie Foxx, like you said, he's been in a rut, and he showed you why he is like in Ray. Those movies where he puts in a hell of a performance. Brie Larson, palatable for me for the since The Room. So it's to me it's a great movie. Everyone should watch it. It's a 4-star film, 100%. So the next film is a brand new one that we have not talked about. You're going to talk about it because I didn't want to part with my monies. I'll buy stupid, crazy movies, but I will not spend $20 unless I get to own it. But King of Staten Island. Scott has been a case of Arrested Development ever since his firefighter father died. Say that a few times. In his mid-20s, having achieved little. When he was 7, he's now reached his mid-20s, having achieved little, chasing a dream, becoming a tattoo artist that seems far out of reach. But when his mother starts dating a loudmouth firefighter named Ray, it sets off a chain of events that will force Scott to grapple with his grief and take his first tentative steps toward moving forward in life. I'm sorry. This has Pete Davidson, Marissa Tomei, Bill Burr, Belle Powley, Maud Apatow, Steve Buscemi, Rick Velez, Pamela Adlon. Adlon. I apologize. And Kevin Corrigan. I don't know why, but that it looked like an ADI instead of an ADL for me for some reason. So I apologize for that. So you watched this. Tell me what you thought about it. It is on the board for me to watch when I get around to it.
Yeah, I've been looking for this one for a while because I was sold on Judd Apatow. I've enjoyed all his movies here. They seem to kind of follow the same kind of flow to a degree, but so far they're still really good, charming pieces. Usually there's some good laughs, some interesting characters here, and that's what you're going to get here. So some decent laughs, sometimes a little bit repetitive in the storytelling. And again, some say that it is a bit long. He does do movies usually over 2 hours. This is, again, over 2 hours, so some have a gripe with that. I don't mind it, though. Unlike Last Days of Crime, when you're giving me interesting characters and an arc, I can sit for 2 hours and 15 minutes and be fine with it. So for me, the length didn't bother me as much, especially when you're at home. You're not antsy. You can pause, you can pee, you can drink. So especially at home, I didn't mind the length personally here. And everyone's to play, man. I mean, we talked about Jim Gaffigan in the past. Bill Burr is also pulling up a nice little fun resume. I'm talking about his cartoon show a little bit later here. Tomei's always great. And Davidson, it's not out of his wheelhouse, this role. In fact, this is actually very much a spiritual successor to his Hulu movie from a couple months ago. It's very kind of similar to an extent, although I prefer this one just a little bit more. Although I did like the Hulu one, not bashing that. And so, yeah, this it's not Apatow's best, and I'm still curious as to where Davidson's going to fall in the world of cinema and whatnot. We'll see him in Suicide Squad soon. We'll see how he does in that. But I enjoyed it, man. I'm battling between 3.5 and 4. I'm gonna be nice and give it 4 stars. I enjoyed this from beginning to end. A couple of great side characters. Two of his friends had me laughing a good amount as well. Their resolution's a little bit iffy, so what actually ends up with them, they kind of just go away at a certain point, and the love story seemed a little bit forced because it was more about his battling with his dad and his mom dating Bill Burr. So the love story kind of seemed a little shoehorned and slightly underdeveloped here. So, but it's still a decent ride and a good flick.
Yeah, and I think what this is basically semi-biographical, I think, for Pete Davidson.
Yeah, because his dad did pass early in his life due to firefighting. So yes, this was produced, I think, as well by Davidson, and I'm not sure if he co-wrote it or not, but this definitely had a little bit to do with him.
If I'm not mistaken, Judd Apatow and God, I just lost his name again. Pete Davidson did co-write this together. So that is something that's interesting. And I did, I haven't watched the film. I really do want to watch this. It does seem like it'll be a good film. I've listened to, they had a Fresh Air interview on NPR, and to me, it really drew me in. How is Maude Apatow and Pete Davidson as brother and sister?
Actually, I actually meant to talk about Maude because I'll be honest with you, it's funny seeing her grow up because this is Judd Apatow's daughter. She was in at least this is 40 as amongst others. I think Knocked Up too as well, maybe. But so it's kind of fun seeing her. I didn't realize it was her at first until later on in the cast. I was like, oh yeah, wow. So she's doing really good. She's actually developing a decent career herself as an actress. I think she's on that HBO show Euphoria, and so she's doing side stuff as well. She was good on the show I really loved called Love.
Netflix, right?
Yeah, definitely. I still recommend that. 3 seasons. Gillian Jacobs and Paul Faust, I want to say, maybe. And she's been developing really good. And so she's finding this is interesting. Later on, finding out, oh yeah, that's right, that was Maude. Like I didn't get because sometimes like when Adam Sandler's kids show up, you go, oh, it's Adam Sandler's kid. I didn't lose track of it at all with her in this. And also to anyone that's an Action Bronson fan, his cameo is really funny as well.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. Yeah. So I have another quick question. Where we have a long show, but I just like to ask questions. Who's better, Maude Apatow or Harley Quinn Smith?
I feel like we've seen more from Maude. I'll go with Maude. I think she's got more range, but again, that's from what we've seen. I think Harley's been fine in everything she's been in. So I mean, I'll give props to both. But from right now, just like if I had to choose one to cast real quick or something, I'd go with Maude because I do think she's shown some decent range here, and she does continue to grow. And maybe that's just because she's gotten the better scripts or the different kind of scripts. I don't know, but she's quite good. And yes, Pete Davidson did co-write this.
Yeah. So anyway, so that is the King of Staten Island. You get it on VOD along with for 20. So what else we got coming up? We got another revisit.
I'm going to revisit Justice League Dark Apokolips War. You gave it a glowing review. Did you say 5 last week?
I gave it 5.
All right. So Earth is decimated by Darkseid and the Justice League, and a poorly executed war by them. And now the remaining Stallions of Good must regroup and try to take the Darkseid for one last chance at saving the Earth. This has a lot of big voice cast: Matt Ryan, Jerry O'Connell, Tayce Farmiga, Jason O'Mara, Tony Todd, Rainn Wilson, Rosario Dawson, Rebecca Romaine, Shamar Moore.
You name them, they're in it. You name it, they're in it.
And me as Booster Gold. You just didn't hear it.
Really? You got the Booster Gold one? Damn it, man. No wonder why I only got Blue Beetle.
You were Darkwing Duck. Don't worry. This is, I've always said, even the worst DCU film, DC animated film, it's still a pretty good time in here. And this one is big and bold. It's kind of what you wish we would get in real life, but as you mentioned, because of cartoons, you're able to do a little bit more with it here. I mean, bodies are dropping in this movie. Familiar characters are dropping. Even sometimes you're like, oh, that character just died? Oh my God. And it is bloody. In fact, it is rated R, I believe, too, isn't it?
I think it may be. I don't look at ratings anymore, but yeah,
It's rated R, which is interesting, man, because obviously they know who they're selling this to. They know they're not selling this to Jimmy 5-year old. They're selling it to Jimmy and Jordan 30, 40-year old.
Jimmy 5-year-old would still probably watch it though.
Oh, if that's if mom lets you, man. I don't know. My mom might not let me. I don't know. She might have been thrown off by that R rating, you know. So it's
It's called
fun.
recommended. That's what R means. Recommended.
It was also cool seeing characters in a different light. Without spoiler warning, you see Superman different than what you normally see him as. Batman different than what you normally see him as. Even like Wonder Woman, there's a twist to her in this film too. So I thought it was really interesting. Fun. Again, my only complaint sometimes these feel a little short. I think it could have been expanded upon a little bit more as far as story because it just feels like it's bang bang boom and you lose a little bit of character and art to it when you're going so fast and furious like this. It feels like they always need to get this in like an hour 30, hour 40, or an hour 20 sometimes.
But it's a culmination of all prior films. So technically, it's already done. It's just so you miss some things. They
I
talk.
don't know. I just feel like I don't know if it's a budget thing or what, but they all always seem like they're kind of rushed a little bit. Like that's why I'm glad the Dark Knight Returns they put 2 movies right away because
Yeah.
they couldn't get it done at one. And I don't know. Even this, I just feel like if this, I don't know, and especially too, it does hurt you if you don't know the prior films. It definitely there's some stuff that will it will hurt you with this one for. So
What did you think of Swamp Thing?
no, his is fine too. Constantine bringing Swamp Thing back out. I'm actually now because of this movie. Actually, I do kind of want to see now the DCU Swamp Thing, even though it's most likely dead for sure. But
It's fantastic though. You should.
I know I do want to check it out more. I did see on the I actually bought it on Blu-ray. It was only like $10 for the Blu-ray digital on Amazon, and they have bonus cartoons. And I didn't like one of the cartoons portrayal of Swamp Thing. It was Mark Hamill, and he played him way too wacky and like it was almost like Spider-Man, like what I mean. It just I like the more serious Swamp Thing, and I just thought Mark Hamill was like, hey, yeah, that's Swamp Thing, yeah.
They probably just made him that way because he does play. He has done it in the past a little bit more serious. So
Yeah, this was like Justice League Action or something. I don't know. There's 3 different bonus cartoons on here.
oh, that's interesting.
And
I should
there's
look and see if I have any extras.
oh my God, what can't I think of his name? Help me out here. Strange, Alex Strange, Todd Strange, Billy Strange.
I don't know. Who do we? I don't know. I
I don't know. Moving on, but I'm
moving on.
sorry. 4 stars. I'm not gonna meet your 5. I didn't feel it was as epic, maybe because it is cartoons. I don't know, but it's 4 stars. They're still very solid. Definitely worth checking out. Marvel, why you slacking, guys? DC, you're winning the film war, but you're losing the animated film war by far. Come on, Marvel, you got good characters, you got decent animators. Do something.
I've noticed, if you've noticed it too. Then because Marvel to me, they just I don't understand. I don't know. They have the power of Disney behind them, and you think they would make a magical cartoon, but they can't for some reason because they want to dump it all into the big screen. I understand that, but there's also other avenues.
There's room though. There's room for both, as you see.
There's always, and plus you can tinker with more story. I think I'm with you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what's fun about. That's what something I'll definitely give credit to, like an animated movie like this, is because you can go dark, if you will, and you can do stuff with characters that they would be afraid to do on a big screen. Because like, no, we're not going to kill so and so or change so and so. Here they can.
Yeah. The next film we have is called Waves. I actually was gonna watch this the other day, but I kind of said, I'll watch something light. It's a controlling father's attempt to ensure that his 2 children succeed in high school. It backfires after his son experiences a career-ending football injury. Their familial bond are eventually placed under severe strain by an unexpected tragedy. This is starring Kelvin Harrison Jr., Taylor Russell, Sterling K. Brown, Lucas Hedges, Renee Goldsberry, and Alaka Demi. Yeah, I'm gonna go Demi. So you saw this. What is this? Because I did see the previews, but expand upon it for me because it did look pretty decent.
No, this thing is really decent. I thought this was a very good film. Powerful directing, powerful performances here. There's a couple of moments I think are going to really get you here. Talk about Kelvin Harrison, who I'll talk about a little bit next week, actually, as well, on a different light. I talked about last year with, I think, one of the under talked about movies that I really loved was Luce, Luce, and he's in this again as well. And another really powerful performance by this young man here about just almost in a weird way. There's a couple of similarities between those characters about just kind of living up to the legacy and living up to trying to be a powerful human being, and his dad Sterling K really pushing him, and maybe that backfiring a little bit, but what can you do here? This thing, without giving spoilers, does change perspectives at one point. It's much Kelvin's story in the first half, and then without giving spoilers here, it changes perspectives in the second half here. That's where I thought it slowed a little bit. I just kind of felt like it dragged a little bit in here, and we're kind of being a little repetitive. And again, maybe could knock off a few minutes here, although the storytelling was very good here. You get a little bit more from Sterling K. He has a powerful scene in that second half as well here. So yeah, just it's powerful. It's intense. It's going to stir up some emotions, but it's a really good journey here. Woolworth scene again, another movie kind of like Luce that I think is under talked about, but if you look it up, people are really digging this film, and there's a reason here. It's just a strong one, man. Again, I'm struggling with giving out of that extra point. Yeah, I'm going to say 4.5 stars. It's a really good film.
Yeah, I think I on your recommendation, I did watch Luce, and I enjoyed Luce. I never reviewed it on the show, but yeah, it was good. And this one right here, like I said, I saw the previews and I thought, and plus I like Sterling K. Brown. I think he's having a career renaissance. I mean, he's been out there working his butt off, but then This Is Us came along, right? And and launched him over again. And people are seeing that he has depth, he has range, and I'm glad that no one is shying away from him anymore. I mean, he is a great, powerful actor, along with this young man as well. What was his name again? Jay, not Jay.
Kelvin Harrison Jr., I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, even that little tiny, in that Loose film, because it was unbelievable, and it won what Independent Spirit Awards too, I believe. I believe Loose did.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised, but.
So, what else we got coming up? You've seen this one. Tell me about it.
You don't want to read the synopsis? It's your turn.
Well, no, I just read the other one. I just read Waves, but two minutes.
Oh, you did. I
just set you up. I just set you up for 2 minutes of fame.
2 minutes of fame. An up-and-coming stand-up comic moves to LA to pursue a film career after video clips of his act make him an online sensation. This stars Jay Farrow, Cad Williams, Keke Palmer, Andy Allo, Dion Cole, and Ron Rako Lee. This just came out Tuesday, so this is a fresh review of a movie here. And 2 minutes of fame. This one's a toughie for me. Well, it's not really that tough. It's not that good, to be honest with you here. But there's some moments here that are redeeming. I actually liked, oddly enough, my favorite part of this movie is the Cat Williams arc. He's kind of playing almost like an Eddie Murphy guy, where he was really famous and well-renowned for his stand-up, and now he's just making fluff films. Now he's playing a crow in this movie, and within the movie here, and that's where this starts off. As Jay Farrow was making fun of him, like, "Come on, man, what happened to you? You used to be the stand-up god, and now you're just making these horrible B movies," which is funny when you're in a C movie making fun of B movies. But anywho, and so I like the Cat Williams arc, and he tries to bring Jay under his wing and try to teach him some stuff, and Jay's very reluctant, and he even comes around in the end towards it. Here's where it lacks now, is mostly the Jay Farrow stuff. Not his fault, but this is an odd script here. Tell me your opinion on this. Small spoilers here.
I haven't watched this film, but
no. I'm saying, tell me your opinion on this gripe I have with it. This major gripe I have with it. The second scene in the movie, you see Jay Farrow's with Keke Palmer, and they're relatively a happy couple. They go to bed together. They have a cute son. They're struggling with money and whatnot. She kind of tells him, I need you to, not, kind of put your, fun comedy stuff on the side a little bit. I need you to help out with the bills and not get fired. He just gets himself fired because he's stupid from his job. And then instead he goes, "Oh, I got to go to LA for this comedy competition." And they don't break up. She doesn't say it's quits or anything. And then he cheats on her. He straight up cheats on her with Andy Allo. And the only reason he doesn't go to bed with her is because Ron Rako Lee from coffee and cream, he stops them. It's a really weird character choice here. Our main character is supposed to be likable, straight up cheats. He denies that they went to bed because he's like, oh, technically we didn't have sex, so I'm not lying. And then he ends up with Keke Palmer in the end. Really weird thing I couldn't get over. I don't get it.
Well, it doesn't sound. I'm not sure what this film is, but I probably won't watch it. I can guarantee you that. But that premise that you just told me, it doesn't make sense to me. It just maybe I don't know.
It's totally handled. It's handled from what sounds like. I mean, I would be 1,000% surprised. I don't know this for sure because I don't care that much to look deep into this movie. Definitely a guy wrote this because that just sounds like a guy's way of being like, well, he only made out with the hot chick, so I mean, let him have his cake and eat it too. Like, it's a really weird decision that just kind of stalls it. And other than that, too, not that that's the only problem with this. Other than that, like I said, just the comedy doesn't always work here. Yeah, it's a dull script. The scenes aren't funny. Like I said, there's some moments in this, almost when they try to get a little more serious, is my favorite part. But when it's comedy for a guy being a stand-up comic, it falls flat. I'm still gonna be nice. 2 minutes of fame. Guess how many stars it gets?
1.
No, I'm gonna say 2. Like I said, there's weird redeeming parts of this. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of that one arc that I thought, like, man, almost if this was told from a different perspective or something, it could have been better here. Unnecessary twist with the uncle. Oh, Andy Alla, by the way, is very charming in this. That's the girl from Upload that we both liked.
Oh, good. It's nice that she's got a movie, but unfortunately, it sounds like one I will not be watching.
They probably told us a while ago. She'll film more stuff now because of Upload's done.
Yeah, yeah, she's such a talent. So hopefully she'll be good at some better stuff. This movie, I know about these movies. I just haven't seen these. Postcard Killings. A New York detective investigates the death of his daughter, who was murdered while on her honeymoon in London, and recruits the help of a Scandinavian journalist when other couples throughout Europe suffer a similar fate. This has Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Kush Gumbo, what a name, Famke Janssen, Naomi Battrick, you dog, what is that? Ruriar O'Connell. So sorry, Mr. O'Connell or Mrs. O'Connell. I don't know.
It's a dude.
The dude, Mr. O'Connell, and Denise O'Hare and Stephen McIntosh. I did pretty good, except for that one that got me. But I apologize for that. Anyway, I apologize. So tell me about these postcards and why are they killing people?
Yeah, so chances are I'm a big Jeffrey Dean Morgan fan. Even Dennis O'Hare, although he's barely in this, so don't check it out if you're just going for him. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I'm a big fan of his. This is unfortunately it's filmed very kind of dour and dark. It stays dour and dark. It never picks up any kind of momentum. Even the end where you finally get a little bit of, obviously, resolution here, it's kind of over and done with, which is some of the problems. It reminded me almost of that Henry Cavill movie that I didn't really like from a couple months ago, where it was just like, it's a lot of dourness and death just filled by a kind of a whatever conclusion here. There's one kind of twist early on that I did enjoy. They got me a little bit early on, and I was with it for the first little bit of it, but then I was ready for the mystery to be solved, which it kind of is kind of early on. The mystery is solved now, just about whether or not they catch him to a degree. So it's okay. You're going to see a little bit of a trend here with these VOD movies here, because I'm giving it another 2 stars.
2 stars, 2 stars, 2 stars. That's not a bad. I do like Jeffrey Dean Morgan though.
I like him a lot.
He's just I don't know. He's one of those actors I wouldn't mind seeing. Like, it's like watching Sam Elliott. I like to watch Sam Elliott act for some reason. There's just actors that you just want to see on screen. Just to
that would be a fun brother or son and father combo.
Oh, just throw it at a Western. Where's the Western on that one? There's a Western there somewhere. Somebody make it, or we're gonna have to get together and make a Western. We're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do that. It might be a comedy Western, but it's a Western nonetheless.
Yeah, have some humor, because Dean Morgan can be a very humorous guy if you let him be.
Yeah, so can Sam Elliott. So the next one, you're going to take us home. You're going to take us home in these film reviews. We're going to get a little bowlish with this, with the turkey bowl. What's that about? What's
Are you skipping the night clerk?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
It's
Yes.
fine because a lot of people should also skip the night clerk. Hotel night clerk Bert Bromley is a highly intelligent young man on the autism spectrum. When a woman is murdered during his shift, Bart becomes the prime suspect. This stars Ty Sheridan, Ana de Armas, Helen Hunt, John Leguizamo, and Jonathan Sach. This is what I call a thriller-less thriller. The mystery that's set up at the beginning is easily solved if it's just made by better decisions. But if there's better decisions, you don't have an hour and a half movie, you have a 20-minute short film. So you got to make dumb decisions and prolong things sometimes in these movies here. I don't like the ending to it. There's one quiet moment. I like John Leguizamo and Helen Hunt. They're both trying their best here. Leguizamo's the detective. Helen Hunt's the mother who's just trying to, look after her son as much as she can. So they're both trying here, although with a lack of a script to a large degree. And there's one really small, quiet moment that got me to the rating I'm going to give it between Ana de Armas and Ty Sheridan about these two kind of, lonely souls kind of converging, in this moment here. But that's bogged down by unnecessary twists, again, to prolong the movie here. So in the end, guess what? We've got a trend. 2 stars. A couple moments rank this up a little bit higher here. Everyone's trying. Ana de Armas is doing, between this and was it? Why can't I think of the name? Knives Out. She's building up a nice little character roles here, but yeah, it falls too much. And the ending again is kind of one of those endings where I'm like, man, I know you want to think you got me or it was better, but you really don't.
So your deal is basically you skip the night clerk if you don't have to watch it.
I'd say so, man. Like I said, I don't think it's not intriguing enough, and even the twists that they are thrown in there, you feel they're contrived. It's one of those things where just the author was like, what if this connects with this, right? I don't know.
Well, okay. See, this is what I don't understand. You have good actors like Helen Hunt, who's just basically fallen off the face of the earth of acting. It seems. I mean, or she's not getting the opportunity.
She's picked a few weird ones, man. Like these last few, if you look at her up, she's on like that weird like directed VOD whatever train.
The Nicolas Cage kick. But also,
royalty checks from as good as it gets aren't cashing as quickly, so she's got to do whatever.
Well, she has that Mad About You money too, I guess. But
I don't know. It's not in syndication, maybe, so something's wrong.
Yeah, she's got no Friends money. It ain't Friends money she's got, but yeah, I like John Leguizamo. I do like him in a good action, type film, or even a good dramatic film on occasion. He's actually grown on me ever since I never liked the movie The Pest. So that was when I was introduced to him, and I was like, this sumbitch has no career. This sumbitch has no career.
When I was 5, one of my favorite movies, baby. I love The Pest. Oh my God. When I was 5, if you'd asked top 5, that was probably in the top 3.
Oh my God. But yeah, but you can see though, if you were watching that movie, you said, this guy got nothing. He's nothing. And then later on.
I said John Leguizamo's the next Leo DiCaprio. Wait, that wouldn't have made sense when I was 5. He's the next Dustin Hoffman.
Probably. But no, I'm saying if you were to watch it now.
It still holds up to me.
Well, when I watched it, because I'm older than you. I understood what good acting was, and I thought that movie was the worst ever. I don't even know what I was doing watching that film, to be honest with you. So we're gonna bring it back out. This is the movie I thought we were gonna close with, and we are closing with this one for our movie reviews. Thank you for hanging in there, everybody, because we were really industrious. It's called The Turkey Bowl. A 30-something urbanite is pulled back into his rural hometown by his high school buddies on Thanksgiving to finish the Turkey Bowl, an epic football game against their crosstown rivals that has been snowed out 15 years prior. Wow, that's really holding a grudge against that other town. Ryan Hansen stars along with Matt Jones, Kristen Hager, Alan Richton, Brett Cullen, Devon McDonald, and John Beasley. It sounds like it's a comedy. Is it?
It wants to be. Absolutely, it wants to be. Hey, here, Dutch, you want to save some time? 1 star, forgettable, move on. Yeah, there ain't much to talk about here, man. This is, I feel like this is for free on Xfinity. It was on, I don't know, Showtime or Epix or something. And so I was like, all right, I like Ryan Hansen. Matt Jones, who's, a Beaver or whatever from Breaking Bad. Badger, sorry. I knew he was something with a Badger from Breaking Bad. But yeah, there's just the laughs don't land. The will they won't they relationship you don't care about here. Not much in the script. It's very forgettable. I think if you asked me a month from now to describe two scenes with a gun in my head, I probably couldn't for you. So yeah, just 1 star. Let's get to some news.
No, we're not newsing it, buddy. We're not news. I'm looking right at you. You see how I just turned? You got to look at me. Turn and look at me.
Yeah, but you gotta look the other way.
Well, I'm turning towards you. Oh, hold on.
No,
Oh, you're on that side of me.
Jesus, dude. Yeah.
I was over here. You're on this side of me.
Oh, see, I think the way it's gonna in the final edit, you gotta look the other way.
Okay. You listen to me, buddy. We got TV shows to talk about. Anywho.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the TV show. So we're done with movie reviews, though.
Yeah, we're finally done. But we got a lot coming up for movie reviews, do we not? We have, how dare you? But we have, what do you call it? A lot of good movie reviews coming up for next week. 7,500 and a few others. I think My
we
Spy.
talking about that 7,500. I'm gonna have the high note for you. I forgot what else I saw, but I saw something else already for sure.
And I think My Spy is coming out too. I think following as well on. I think I keep willing it to come out shortly.
I have it in my notes. Don't worry, I will confirm My Spy with you very soon.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about some shows because TV shows are very important still. And the first one I want to talk about makes me laugh uncontrollably. It's called Crossing the Swords. It's exclusively on Hulu from the creators of and the masterminds behind Robot Chicken. It's basically a kingdom based type show of pegs, little square peg characters. And they just wooden blocks that run around and they talk. And they have great, Nicholas Holt's in it. Voices, I think Luke Evans, Chris, I can't remember his name. Off of, he was the one on Development with the glasses, the son. I can't remember his name.
Tony Hale.
Anyway, so Tony Hale's in it. There's the casting is just unbelievable just for what it is. It's just a great stop action deal. I love that. That's the dungeon in which they have sex in. As you can see, it's made for adults. There is full frontal blockage, I guess you could say, in this film, in the show. And the blood and the violence is just fun. I don't know. I just find it fun. And I got one more episode left. I'm just kind of blown through this season. I feel bad about doing it so fast, but it's just so funny. Get a chance to look at it. It is just unbelievably good. The next one.
I love that review. Now, do you love Victor?
I do love Victor. Good segue, my good man. Good segue. This is also a Hulu original. Was originally supposed to be on Disney Plus. But Disney Plus got a little nervous about the subject matter.
Are you serious?
This is the reason why it's on Hulu.
Fuck you, Disney.
Yeah, they didn't like the idea of they didn't think some of the family members, for family friendly, they would get along with this show on Disney Plus. So they gave it to their sister Hulu, which I believe Hulu lucks out immensely for this show. It's a very good cast of characters. It's done. We follow Victor and him trying to discover himself. It's almost like Love, Simon, but again, this is more of the Hispanic culture that we're learning from this time, not the white privilege culture, but the Hispanic culture in which he's trying to find out. He moves to the same town. He moves from like El Paso, Texas, and he comes to the small town in Atlanta. Or the suburbs of Atlanta, in which Simon, he goes to Creekside High, which Simon just graduated from. And so he's basically following the footsteps of Simon. And it starts out, he hates Simon. He hates him for everything he's worth because he's made it sound so easy, even though it wasn't easy for him if you saw the movie Love, Simon. But again, this is what's great about a television show. It's 30-minute episodes. They're easy to watch. And you got 5 hours to tell the story instead of 2. So there's 10 episodes, and it's just I don't know, it's just a good show. The character development so far. I'm on episode 4. The episodes are, like I said, easy to watch, very good, and well worth watching. You know, and it's no subject matter that you should be running away from, Disney. God, embrace your freaking, thought process. Embrace it, man. Embrace it. That's why High Fidelity got yanked. It was supposed to go over to Disney Plus. They didn't think it was too mature, so they threw it over to Hulu. Again, Hulu is better than Disney Plus 90% of the time. So,
Oh yeah, man. I mean, because here's the thing: High Fidelity, I can almost sort of guess if you're trying to keep it PG-13, because there's some nudity and whatnot. But I mean, Love Victor, I'm sure is pretty PG as you can get. What are you scared? You're just simply homophobic at that point, so whatever.
well, Disney does have Gay Pride Day at their parks, but to me, I don't understand why you would say, okay, we're going to put this on this network and then, beforehand throw it over there. That's my only grudge I have against Disney is you're walking one talk and then you do another. They always have done that for years. The next show, you got to watch this one. I haven't seen it yet. It's called F is for Family. This is the Bill Burr show you were telling me about?
It's a cartoon starring the voice of Bill Burr. Justin Long's in the voice cast as well, amongst others. Sam Rockwell is a very funny recurring character. I really loved the first couple seasons here. My only gripe with this, I'm a few episodes into season 4 now. We're in. Is part of the humor is a bit repetitive, and now I feel like they're going sometimes for that easier, raunchier joke instead of the storytelling that I felt like we got a little bit better in the first 2 seasons. But it's still a fun show. That I looked forward to seeing. I was happy to see when season 4 plopped back out. So yeah, it's an enjoyable time.
Good. I haven't seen it, but
I definitely recommend it, especially if it's the beginning. I mean, looking for a good, funny cartoon. I think you like Bill Burr as well. Check it out.
No, I will. I'll put it on the list. I have another cartoon I'll talk about next week because I haven't started watching it yet. That's on Netflix. Season 2 just dropped, so I got to watch the first one to get to the second season. How that goes. But then this is the show that we both fell in love with. This is a family-friendly show on Netflix. The Floor is Lava. The Floor is Lava. If you haven't been a kid, every kid has played this. I don't know if you played it as a kid where you threw pillows on the ground and you couldn't move because it's going to burn you. It's going to get you. This is the adult version of The Floor is Lava. And so far, I'm not disappointed. I'm watching it. I'm yelling at the TV about some of the contestants and them being stupid about jumping or whatever. But I'm thinking, shit, I couldn't jump that either. But the point is, this is a competition for $10,000. Each episode, 3 teams. Three teams made of 3 compete to go like all the lava behind you, my good man. Just don't move. Just don't move. It's lava. But yeah, it's whoa. But yeah, it's to me it's a fun case. We talked about the host who was on Top Gear, the American version of Top Gear. I still can't remember his name. But yeah, I enjoy it. We never see him until the end anyway. So he just narrates it a little bit. But what are your thoughts on this? Because I'm digging this show. It's like the Awake show. I enjoy that. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Awake. Yeah, I watched a few of those as well. I mean, you asked me if I played this. My friend, as you know, I live with a 5-year-old, so I played this like in the last couple of weeks. The Floor is Lava. So I played this very recently here, so I thought this was a fun concept. I don't know when did it drop.
I think it came out this week. I think it was like either Tuesday, Wednesday, or something weird.
I must not have looked at Netflix recently then, yeah, because I just saw this today as I was planning kind of like dinner and stuff, and I watched this while I had dinner tonight. And yeah, it's a fun concept. I enjoyed the concept from the beginning. It's another kind of version of Wipeout, or The Miz has one coming out. I think if you've seen the trailers for that, but now it's lava, and I enjoyed. They didn't do it. They don't always do, but I liked when they did kind of go, "No, Sarah," or whoever when they would die in the lava. But
okay, can I ask? Okay, do you think there's somebody underneath the water just drowning them, as because they fall in the lava and you don't see them leave. They just drop into the lava. And they have divers underneath going, no, it's for effect. You can't do it. Here's
I'm sure they just say to them, like, hey, listen, like, go beneath the water real quick so we can get, like, a shot, and then they just edit out, obviously, the rest.
Yeah, because I noticed they have little rafts with GoPro cams on it. if you notice the driftwood that's in there or whatever is in the lava, something.
Oh, really? I don't think I did actually. No.
Yeah, and one scene, it looked like it was like trying to maneuver around to get to the action. But no, I like shows that are kind of different. They're light, they're fluffy.
Yeah.
And but next week we'll talk about fluffy as well. Mr. Iglesias has come back on.
You will talk about it. I'm still on season
we'll
one.
talk about it. Yeah, well, have you watched the? You finished the Big Show, right?
No.
Oh, come on, Jesus, me and your brother are the only two that finishes that. No, it's good. So, but yeah. Anyway, so that is what we have for TV. We'll have more next week, but I'm happy for that. So we have news and notable stuff. We usually have a top 10 this week. I don't know, did we even have one? Because I kind of think we're discussing it because I didn't do one.
No, we skipped it, but we did have one for the 5th time. We had one, Jim. How many times do we have to go through this?
Okay, you know what? Top 10 was the 70s movies, right?
Yes.
Okay, so next week, top 10 70 movies. So that'll be something to look forward to too. See, I like dropping new stuff in as we're going along. So yeah, so top 10 70 movies next week as well. But this is my favorite part of the show because it's just what it is: news and notable stuff.
So let's start off by a bit of a tribute here to the man behind me, Sir Ian Holmes, passed away just recently at the age of 88. You may know him from such films as Alien, Fifth Element, Garden State. He was nominated for an Oscar, an Academy Award for Chariots of Fire, and then you may definitely know him as Bilbo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings films, as well as he popped up in 2 of the recent The Hobbit films as well here. So shout out to him. He was a welcomed actor anytime, just from a fan's perspective, whenever he would pop up in, all those movies here. And, sad to see him go. Seemed like he was much loved and respect. So shout out to Ian Holm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a shame. I like him. Great actor. But shout out. That's why that's why the show's named The Precious. My Precious.
Oh yeah. That was just
that was our nod to him and him and his infamous I'm Invisible scene with Gollum. Yes. So there's more to it right behind us, right there. You throw the ring in the back.
Hey, look at that. I didn't think about that, but yeah, there you go. That's where they need to check the ring. Another well wishes actually go to the comedian D.L. Hughley. It was just reported that he was passed out on a stage in Nashville. There is some kind of harrowing footage of it out there too.
Yeah, I watched that video. I was like, what? Because he kind of like is in the middle of something, then he stops.
Yeah.
And then he just slumps, and somebody runs on stage and catches him before he falls. But then he still falls and knocks his head on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's a limp body. He goes completely limp. He legit passes out. It does look like he's awake and he's doing well, as from the last report. But definitely much love to him. Of course, D.L. Hughley, one of the comedians of comedy. He had his own TV show for a few years. The Hughleys. He was in Soul Plane, which I actually just watched 2 weeks ago. Soul Plane. He's funny in it. I don't like the movie, but he's funny.
You know what though? If you watch this video, which is weird to watch anyway. I don't like watching weird videos like these.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if that should be put out there.
But it was out there. It was a link I clicked. It was on TMZ, I think. There's only one funny thing that takes place after they cart him off into the back. Some announcer goes, "Don't worry, everybody. We got everything under control. It's all good." And all of a sudden, you hear somebody in the audience go, "Yeah, right." It's like, come on, because he's trying to calm everybody down to a point, but yet you're saying, "Well, everything's fine, everybody. This happens all the time to D.L. Hughley," and everyone's like, "This is not under control. This whole system is not under control." But this is like one of those weird concerts that are out there in. During this COVID thing, I looked at the audience and they were not 6 feet apart. They were on top of him almost. So
yeah, this looked like a traditional, as tight as you can be, comedy club to a large degree. So, yeah, I would, continue to be careful and everyone out there. In fact, interesting. This is something I bet you don't know, Jim. We were going to film a couple hours. No, I'm saying what I'm about to say. We're going to film a couple hours ago, but we're waiting. You got to have dinner and feel better when not. I told you I was watching a wrestling pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
GCW, during the main event, a fan had a seizure and passed out during the show. and they were outside, so it might have been. It's just like Dale Hewley. It's reported as maybe exhaustion and dehydration. Might have been the same thing here. This was an outside show, and literally as the one wrestler was coming for the main event, she had a seizure and it was halted. The cameras go to like a pre-cut thing for the next like 30 minutes before they could finish the show. So just be careful, guys. Know your bodies. Know if you need to, drink water, stay home, whatever you got to do. Just watch out.
Absolutely. Hydrate, and stay 6 feet away and wear a mask. Don't be stupid. Anyway.
I know at least everyone in the wrestling show was, but we got some renews and some cancellations. So some good news and bad news coming at you real quick. Manifest on NBC has been renewed for season 3. The Sinner over at USA is coming back for season 4. Love Life at HBO Max has already been renewed for season 2, and Hightown is coming back to Stars for a season 2 as well. Ones that did not survive the purge include Lincoln Rhyme, The Hunt for the Bone Collector is done. They will not be hunting that collector anymore. And Perfect Harmony, somebody didn't like their singing and doesn't like Bradley Whitford. Poor Bradley can never get a show off the ground. NBC has them.
I did like Harmony. That was that small town show. Yeah, I did like that. I don't know. I watched every episode. At first I was like, I don't understand this, but I did watch it and I fell in love with the characters. It's a shame to see that one.
I hope you didn't love them too much because season 2 is not happening.
No, it is a shame. What's funny is that they don't need to be canceling these shows. There's too much things. There's too many things out there. Stop canceling the shows now. Usually, give them a little bit more time.
People did have hopes because the season's been done since January, so people that were fans of it were waiting for a little while to see whether or not they were keeping it. Here's some more bad news for you. Do you like DC Daily?
Yes, I do watch that on the DC. Hold on, is it going to HBO Max?
No, it's going nowhere. At least for now, because it's canceled.
What? My gosh, by God, by golly, that show talked about all the stuff that's coming out with DC, like DC Comics, DC Toys, DC.
And it must have been as cheap as can be to be filmed. So I don't know.
Yeah, it had the guy off of Freaks and Geeks, I believe, one of the kids. From there, I think this is one of the Harley Quinn Smith's landing spots for things, because she's been on the show numerous times. But yeah, it can't cost a lot of money to make, like $10.
And it's another sign that they are not putting in effort and money into this DCU app, man.
I know, it just irks me. Oh, by the way, guess what show we'll talk about next week as well? Doom Patrol season 2 coming out, so that'll be fun. So we'll watch that. And hopefully
still on season 1.
That's if we do the show on Saturday, like we plan on most of the time. I like Saturday shows because I can watch a little bit. But
we'll see.
Did you know the other news that Disney Plus came out with today? They said either you want to join us or you don't. We're not giving you a 7-day trial anymore. Forget you. Yeah, they said forget you on that. Because why? They said if you want us and you know us, you're going to do it no matter how it works. And I'm thinking that's like a little that sounds like mafia type talk to me.
Wait, is that really what the press release said, Jim?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
If you want us, you take us. If not, forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. Yeah. But yeah, so they basically are saying, and by the way, this
don't want to subscribe? Okay, it's just hopefully nothing bad happens to you or your family if you don't subscribe. Just that would be such a shame.
It's $6.99 a month or $670 for the year. You do the math, you save money if you buy the whole thing. But also though, this is not indicative. It is they're doing this because I think Hamilton's coming out. Remember in July 4th. So they're just cutting that off so you can't go and just watch it for free. Everyone wants to watch Hamilton, and then they walk away.
Yeah, who knows? Like you said, maybe afterwards they'll reinstate it. After some of the big things are out already. But yeah, for now, I kind of get it. I mean, you can always look up, what's on there. So either you want or you don't. And you better subscribe now. Don't ever hurt your loved ones.
Yeah, no wonder why Donald Duck hates Mickey. Jesus. He's over there kneecapping people, just to get them to subscribe. What else do you got in the news for me?
Well, I hope you're happy that the Avatar sequels have resumed filming. James Cameron's Avatars 2 through 14 are back on track.
No, I'm not happy. I didn't ask for a second one, or a third, or a fourth, or a fifth, or a seventh. But like I didn't ask for the Zack Snyder cut. Yeah, I keep bringing it up. I don't care. Don't care.
It's happening, man. Can't fight it. Look, it's Dark Side.
Yeah, well, no, that's not Dark Side. Who is it? Oh, Finn Balor.
Yeah. Okay, so not on track, though, is the 93rd Academy Awards. They've been pushed back 2 months instead of February 28th, or 1 month? I don't know. I don't have my notes aren't very good. March 23rd now is the Academy Awards.
Yeah, usually it's what. No, I thought was it in June? Did they not push it into June?
I don't know. I should fact check that. But the fact is,
Have you been going to the same place I get my news from on occasion?
I just know my first half of my first sentence contradicts my second sentence in my notes. So, just Google it, people. Google it. The Academy Awards have been pushed back.
Yeah, we'll get the facts one day on this news and notables. By the way, here was an interesting thing. Miami Dolphins, they're trying to figure out how to make money. So they turned the Hard Rock Stadium into a movie drive-in, and guess what movie they showed?
What was that?
Jurassic Park. 200 cars got to sit inside the stadium, and they watched Jurassic Park together in cars, like an old movie drive-in. That's pretty interesting to see how so they're just ways to make things happen for themselves and make some money on the side. Also, I don't know if you have it in your notes, Jimmy Kimmel is taking a break this summer. So he's already announced it. He said, I'm not going to come back until maybe September. I think after he does the Emmys, I think. He's going to be doing the Emmys, I think, in September because they got pushed back as well. And he says, I'll come back about September or so. I just need some time to stay with my family, which is kind of ironic because he's always with his family. But he says, this time I won't have to work and be with my family, which makes more sense. So, yes.
April 25th is the Oscars, by the way. April 25th, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so it's moved back a few months. So that's
2 months, yes.
2 months. So, also a big news. Kurt Cobain made the news. His guitar that was part of the great MTV Unplugged album sold for $6 million at auction. The acoustic guitar.
And I have it right here. Who took it?
Damn it! Somebody stole it and sold it. But yeah, I personally I couldn't believe that figure. That's why I had to bring it up for you, man. That's just crazy. Anything else you got for me, man? Anything else?
Star Wars Celebration has been canceled, so me and my Darth Maul action figure are sad.
Finn Balor, he's just
He's kind of Darth Maulish.
Yeah, at first, I'm not to start any fights or anything. I'm surprised they had that on the market because he looks like he's in blackface.
So the Matrix 4 has been pushed back, and the Matrix 4 has been pushed from May 21st of 2021 to April 1st of 2022. So 2 years until we see Keanu Reeves dodging bullets. Godzilla vs. Kong has moved from this year and is now taking the Matrix 4 old spot of May 21st, 2021. So the battle of a lifetime, Godzilla vs. Kong, we will have to wait now about a little less than a year now instead of the end of Christmas time. Tom and Jerry, yes, that Tom and Jerry was also scheduled for a Christmas release this year. That has been pushed back to March 5th of 2021. And Wonder Woman, we will not see her battling Cheetah. Instead of August 14th, we'll see Wonder Woman 84, I think is what it's called, on October 2nd of 2020.
So that's not I could wait until October. Like you said, theaters are opening up in July. Tenet has been pushed back. A lot of these films have been pushed back just recently. Tenet was saying July 17th all the way. Now they're at the 31st or 30th.
Yeah, they're waiting to the end of July. That way, hopefully, all theaters are open up now. I believe our beloved Regal will be opening up early July 10th, I want to say, maybe, give or take. So.
Correct. And you're going to have to wear masks, which is fine. And,
Wait, is that official?
That is official. You have to wear everyone's going to be wearing masks as well.
How do you get the popcorn?
You're going to have to just sneak it up underneath, brother. Sneak it up underneath. Yeah. Just don't sneeze or anything else. But don't forget.
There's 5 handguns pointed at you.
But what about the biggest faux pas of this whole COVID thing? AMC gets to shoot themselves in the foot each and every time. They were saying, well, you want to come to a theater, you don't have to wear a mask. We're not getting political, and they're like, morons, this is not a political thing. It's a safety thing. So maybe we need to, even fans who are big fans of AMC, they didn't want to be a part of it. They were saying, I'm going to get rid of my little movie pass. I'm going to go over to Regal because they got their heads on straight because they came out and said, you're going to wear a mask right away. So that's what that's my biggest fear right now in theaters, going there and people not wearing a mask. How are they going to enforce that? I know you don't like to wear a mask all the time. I don't like to wear it all the time. But when we're out in public, we have no choice anymore until this hopefully gets a cure. But you got to be safe, be smart, and don't be stupid. And also, by the way, AMC again being stupid still says they will not show Universal films. They put their foot down. They keep saying it again. They brought it out today. Everyone thought it died down. They were going to back off. No. They said, yeah, you didn't like the mask thing? Well, we're going to piss you off more. We're not going to show Fast and Furious 40 or whatever the hell is coming out. So any of the Universal films, you're not going to see out of AMC if they have their druthers, which I think they'll cave before anybody else. They'll have no choice but to cave because they're already claiming they're bankrupt. So anything else you got for me?
Judd Apatow is developing a George Carlin documentary, so that'd be pretty cool. 3 and a follow-up to a story from last week. Last Days of Merican Crime getting 0%, but a very well-viewed movie. Well, Netflix has done it again. 365 Days is another top Netflix film with 0% at Rotten Tomatoes here. People are watching it, not necessarily enjoying it. And finally, Dutch, mark this on your calendars because I know you're excited, so am I. We are 6 days away, a few minutes from 5 days away from My Spy. My Spy premieres on Amazon Prime June 26th. So depending on when we film this, we will have reviews up for that as well next week. As well as I also saw the movie Buffaloed, which I will be reviewing with Zoe Dutch.
Okay, just tell me, just you can. We'll talk about this off the deal. But you guys, I'm going to talk to you about that movie as soon as we hang up, off the show because I do need to talk to you about that one. So, okay, so that I think is about it, my friend. Right? We're done for the evening. We're done for the day.
Yes, sir. That is it as far as news and notables. Thank you guys for checking out some of our reviews as well. Dutchkey, what else you got to say, bud?
Just again, be safe, stay safe. Don't put yourself in any situations in which you can be exposed to a virus that you may or may not believe. And if you don't believe it, you might need to get this virus then. But yeah. And Dave was put in for a second season. So therefore, we'll see that little icon behind you.
I've already made an announcement. I just like to bring up this background at least once a show.
I know. So Hulu, if you want to sponsor us, we're here for you because we do love Hulu. We both do. We watch everything on Hulu. So again, my name is.
But okay.
My name is Dutch McAllister, along with my tag team colleague for life. Hold on. I'm going to give you a 5. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Oh yeah, we did good. Okay.
He hit me. You all saw it. He hit me.
Sometimes you need to be jerked in line, sir.
Wait, what?
You need to be jerked in line. Jerked in line. Thank you.
No, I'm thinking of something else when you say that. But anywho, Dave approves. Show about shows. That was Dutch JPO saying we love you more than you'll ever know.
How awkward is this? Happy day. Good night.
Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there, as well as to all my kids that I fathered. Daddy loves you.
I'm done. Disgusted with this show.